I'm always asking, have you tried this in the market, right? Have you already got feedback from customers? Because just because you think it's perfect, right, doesn't mean the market thinks it's perfect.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. Today I'm bringing to the show an amazing guest, Michael Kuech. He is one of the founders of Your Super. Welcome to the show.
Hey Chase, thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm excited to chat. So for those that may not be as familiar as I am, can you just quickly walk me through the types of products you are selling over there, what you're trying to do these days?
Yeah, Your Super is a superfood company, and we're on a mission to inspire people to eat more plants and use more plants in their daily diet. So we have different superfood blends, protein blends, greens, right? You see, so different types of products, they're really different functions, all geared towards make it easier for you to get your veggies, your fruits in your daily diet.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So without further ado, let's go back in time. Tell me, where did this idea come from? I know you've got a very personal story that aligns with how the business became the business it is.
Yeah, it's very personal, and became my personal mission, this business. It's now 10 years ago, almost to this day now, where I was diagnosed with cancer. I was just 24 years old. And that was a major shock because growing up in Germany, I was always an athlete. Although I was a very meat-eating person in the German culture, I was still an athlete all my life. And it was a shock. I was 24, didn't know that I could get cancer, to be honest. And when I went through this from surgery to chemo, I had testicular cancer, by the way. I realized, I asked myself the question, why are people getting sick, right? Why am I getting sick? Why I got sick? Why are people in general getting sick? And when I started researching after getting through this, I didn't have to look far. I just Googled it and the World Health Organization popped up right there. And what I found completely shocked me. Over 50% of cancers are due to risk factors that we can control. One of those risk factors is diet. And I was like, this is crazy. I can't control everything in my life, but I can control what I put in my body. So that put me on my health journey. And I never wanted to get sick again and say, hey, I need to eat healthier. And my co-founder back then and now wife, back then girlfriend, she was the health nut actually in our relationship. So often the women are the health nuts, right? They're trying all these things out. So she put me on my first detox. She gave me all the superfoods. And I was like, what are these superfoods? What is this? Wheatgrass, barley grass? I had no idea what I was consuming. But I realized I felt so much better. I had so much more energy all of a sudden. My immune system got back up. I felt stronger, more clear, less bloated. And I was like, wow, these plants are amazing, right? Is this anything new? And again, my German mind was like, hey, I need to research this. And when I started researching, I found out now superfoods haven't been anything new. They have been around hundreds, thousands of years and always been used as food as medicine as well around the world. So we're like, this is great. We can make it easy for people to eat healthier, to get more fruits and vegetables in, to get more vitamins, minerals in. And that was the kickstart of Your Super, how we combined the best superfoods we could find around the world into different mixes, different functions. And yeah, 10 years later, we're still doing it. That's amazing.
That's amazing. Now, talk to me about how you went from, the idea of these superfoods are great and they make me feel good to, hey, this should or could be a business.
Yeah. So there were a couple of moments. One was Kristel was dragging me to Whole Foods in London and told me, okay, you need to buy now wheatgrass, barley grass, spirulina, chlorella, acai. And I was like, first of all, I don't understand how to use them. Then you ask me to buy them or loose. They're expensive or loose. There needs to be an easier way and a better way. So Kristel made a mix for myself. And after a few weeks, people were starting to ask, hey, this seems easy, just 1 scoop a day in your smoothie or yogurt, anything. This seems so easy. We want to try this too. So more and more people ask for it. And we're like, hey, maybe we have something here. And then we just started. To be honest, we just tried it and started. So we put on a Shopify page in 2 weeks back then. And we tried it. We said, hey, maybe we can just get some pre-sales and pre-orders. And if it works, we'll do it. And if not, then we'll try something else.
I love that. Trial by fire. Let's just see if it works.
And that's usually our mantra too. It's like, oh, let's just do it. And we so often, right, we think about step 100 versus step 1, and we'll get discouraged by problem 100 versus the problem 1. We're like, hey, we're just doing it. We'll see.
Michael, I know there's someone out there listening right now that is scared to just get started. What do you have to say to them?
Just start it. You don't try to figure every eventuality out. You don't know. We didn't know anything about business. And I always say, if we could have done it, everybody can do it. We didn't know anything about business, how to start a business, how to source, how to do any of the things we're doing now. But we all learned them by doing. And we started small. We didn't invest a ton. We invested a few $100 to get a Shopify page up and running and see what the feedback was. And from there we iterated. So for somebody who wants to try something, try something. Don't get discouraged by maybe a problem down the future or what happens if. Just see, and usually when you get to this point, the problems are completely different.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about what happened after you built this Shopify store and you started to get some feedback. How were you getting customers?
Well, in the beginning, we sent a ton of products out to influencers and micro-influencers. And back then, it was still an easier and cheaper way because not everybody wanted to have money. That was in 2014, 15. Instagram was just up and coming. So we shared it with a lot of people, sent out products. So that was kind of our budget, basically the cost of products, because we didn't have a budget. We bootstrapped for the first 1.5 years and didn't have a lot of money. So we did that. And then we went to a lot of farmers markets, food expos, conventions. Almost every weekend we were somewhere to get feedback, right? So we prepared the products, we got feedback, we sold products there, and we iterate from there, right? People loved it, or people said, hey, this is not great, and we iterated for the next one. So we very slowly got through the digital piece, plus through word of mouth, kind of going to these conventions. We got more customers on our side. And then we started a little bit, obviously, with social paid at one point and rode that wave.
Absolutely. So, Michael, you mentioned that you were, almost every weekend putting in the work to go to these farmers markets and these conventions and get feedback. And you kind of just glazed over that piece, but I want to talk about that real quick for the listeners and why that was important and invaluable to the growth of your brand.
A couple things. One, we heard all the objections people had, right? So people said, "Oh, I can't eat healthy because of X," right? This doesn't taste good. This seems complicated, right? So we actually got all the feedback from our customers in terms of how can we sell to them, because we learned their stories, right? We learned their concerns. We learned their benefits they may be gaining in the products we didn't even think about. Right. So that equipped us actually with a narrative, with a story, with the assets basically that we can use then again online, because obviously people are similar, right? And that helped us tremendously. We on one hand, obviously on our story and the marketing piece, but also on the product itself. I got so much feedback on, oh, this tastes great, this doesn't taste great. This I can do, this I won't do. And then we iterated products as well, kind of the formulation of the products, until we found something that, most people liked, right? You can't have a product that everybody likes, but so two major pieces on the product itself, plus how do you sell the products, and are you actually saying the right things to your consumer that the consumer wants to hear?
Absolutely. And you're not the first person to tell me that that's something that was a game changer for their business and their brand and their product. And, it's definitely one of those things when I think about, like, at the beginning, you got to do the things that don't scale. And that's like one of my number one recommendations is going out and getting feedback in person.
Yeah. And I'm talking to founders or people who want to start a business all the time now. And usually they overthink the formulation and product development or they want to make it so perfect. And I'm always asking, have you tried this in the market, right? Have you already got feedback from customers? Because just because you think it's perfect, right, doesn't mean the market thinks it's perfect, right? And so it's so important to get early feedback all the time, build this community where you can actually have that open conversation, open feedback for any product success, in my opinion.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about now where you start to get into paid. Was there a moment in time when you're like, I think we're really onto something here?
Yeah, there was a few years in where we figured out that people buy products from people and people want to hear stories behind the founders, right? Why did somebody start? So the emotional connection to brand is so important. We didn't learn it in the beginning as much because we were very focused on functionalities. Maybe because I'm German, I always talk about functionalities. But in the marketplace, especially in the US, when we talked to a lot of people, it was the emotional connection with the brand. My story, people shared their story, their health journeys, their health concerns, because I shared my story. And for the first 2 years, I didn't share my story and that I had cancer as much. And we realized we can help so much more people if we tell that story. More authentic, right? More authentic, just who we are. And that was a game changer because with video and with social, right, we could tell a really authentic founding story, and that really propelled the business. And we saw it early on with a couple of our early videos on Facebook and Instagram that they really worked well. People really resonated with it, and we're like, oh, we can scale with this. And from there, it was just a rocket ship and exciting to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. You guys did some crazy numbers, over 200 million in revenue. You had a very successful exit back in October of 2022. Is there anything during those kind of scaling years that you want to share with our audience?
So we had always the mantra was, if we're good in something, let's focus on the something. So we never tried for years and years. We didn't have new products. We didn't have a lot of different marketing channels because we figured out one channel and wanted to really be successful in that one channel with a few products. So we tried to keep it very simple for a long time. And then it comes to this point where you feel like you need to do everything. But now looking back, there was a ton of mistakes. Obviously you made too. It's still something we're like, we could have just kept it even more simple, right? Because at one point you always feel like, oh, you need to be on every channel, advertising everywhere. You need to do brand stuff and you need to do a million different products. And for the longest time, we tried to keep it very, very simple. And with a team you're hiring, across the entire business, right? That would be my advice, even in scaling this. Can you keep it very simple, very lean, and go from there.
Hey there, merchant. Are you tired of trying to navigate the wild world of e-commerce on your own? Are you looking for a partner to help you achieve your goals? Look no further than the Shopify Plus agency Electric Eye. Our team has a proven track record of helping our clients make millions with strategic design and development. Whether you're migrating from a legacy platform to Shopify, designing a new theme for your store, or just looking to optimize what you already have, Electric Eye is the perfect partner for you. Electric Eye are true Shopify experts. Not only is our Shopify knowledge unparalleled, but we have partnerships with all the best tech in the Shopify ecosystem. And don't worry, we're easy to get a hold of. Our clients rave about our fast communication. So here's the deal. If you're an e-commerce business doing over $1 million a year, you can receive a complimentary Shopify diagnostic from our team of experts. That's free, personalized, strategic recommendations to improve your store and grow your business. To get started, head on over to electriceye.io/connect to schedule an intro call with one of our experts. That's electriceye.io/connect. Hey there, merchants. Are you struggling to get your Merchant Center ads approved but keep running into a price mismatching error? Wondering how your competitors are showing reviews, price, delivery, and product availability directly in search results? What if there was a way to get your ads approved for the first time and get more traffic without fighting for rankings? That's where JSON-LD for SEO comes in. It's an app that helps you get more organic traffic to your Shopify store, qualifying you for over a dozen search enhancements, and provides all the structured data you need for Merchant Center. JSON-LD for SEO automatically adds the structured data needed, and it's updated regularly as the rules change by Google. It's a hands-off SEO app that you don't need to monkey around with to get working. It's the safest, easiest, and most effective way to stand out from your competitors in search results. Contact us to get your free structured data audit for your store. Find JSON-LD for SEO in the Shopify App Store to get started. That's JSONLD for SEO, or go to JSONLD.app. Hey everybody, Chase here to talk about an amazing new product that's hitting the market. So, what do brands like Warby Parker, Dr. Squatch, Vital Proteins, and Blendjet all have in common? They're all increasing their abandoned cart revenues by over 10x with Retention.com. Retention.com helps direct-to-consumer brands harness the power of identity to transform lost leads into sales and rapidly expand their abandoned revenues. Retention.com is giving Honest E-commerce listeners 20% off their annual commitment. If you're not seeing the results that you want within 60 days, you can opt out at no charge. Head on over to retention.com/honest. That's retention.com/HONEST to book a demo today. You are one of my favorite guests that I've had recently, Michael. There's going to be so many pull quotes from this that I refer back to in conversations with brands. But the one thing that I really want to highlight there is like, keep it simple and keep it focused. And you talked about how you guys were staying with one channel and a low product line. And I feel like that's the first thing brands do when they get a little bit of success is they're like, okay, well, if Facebook's working, let me go over here and try to do paid on TikTok, right? But what they don't realize is that they haven't even maxed out the returns that they can get from the channel they've already figured out.
Exactly. And that was always, we always somehow felt, okay, let's try to max out Facebook and be really good in what we're doing there, in our messaging, etc. Because everything else obviously costs a lot of resources, right? And hindsight right now, obviously the landscape has changed completely. So we couldn't just doing Facebook right now because we all know it's really hard, and the iOS update impacted a lot of us in e-commerce, right? But back then I felt it was very focused, and still now I feel like there are channels you can be very focused on, very simple. Somehow there is this, especially in the startup world, I feel like this pride or something, or you feel like you need to do everything all of a sudden, hire 1 million people, and the bigger your team, the greater your company is. And we trapped into some of these mistakes for sure with your super. And so anybody's listening, don't do it. Be super lean, be super focused, and keep all the structures simple and easy. Absolutely.
That's amazing. Can you remember back when you guys were like a 7-figure brand? I'd say that's a lot of our listeners now.
Yeah.
What were you guys? Were you guys still kind of just focused on one main channel for prospecting, one main channel for remarketing? Like, do you remember how that kind of worked out?
Yeah, we're super focused on one channel. Back then it was Facebook. We never really did influencers, which I think right now the channel would be still be more shifting to, in my personal opinion, will be more influencer stuff and micro influencers, and really figure out how you can get people talking about the brand. We're early on very, very focused, especially when we're in a smaller brand. And besides one channel, also building this community. So we had a Facebook group early on that we really tried to engage with and grow. Now it's like 50, 60,000 people, which are hardcore fans, right? And I think if I would start now of a new company or somebody who's smaller, make sure you keep the customers you have, make sure you build a community around them. Word of mouth is so powerful, obviously. And then supplement that with a lot of good, right, micro influencers, affiliates, people that love the brand and want to work with you. It doesn't have to be expensive, but building this community of people can be very, very powerful.
Absolutely. Now, Michael, I know that you have a book coming out. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yes, we so everything we learned in terms of health and how you eat healthy and peak performance, basically. I always felt, actually, because I was an athlete, and anybody's listening who has his own company, I always felt like being a founder is being an athlete. And this book is for anybody who wants to bring their health to the next level, be more sharp, more focused, better performance. So it's called Your Super Life. It came out last April 18th. It came out. You can find it everywhere you buy books. It has 100 super easy recipes to do plant-based meals from breakfast, lunch, dinner. Top 25 superfoods are in there. Which superfood should you eat? For what benefit? Where can you find them? So that is in there. Meal plans are in there. Our stories in there. How we feel like you can improve your health with the power of plants. So check it out. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that's fantastic. We'll make sure to link to that down in the show notes. Is there anything I didn't ask you about today that you think would resonate with our audience?
Do what you love to do. I think if you start a business just purely making money and you're not interested in it, it's hard to succeed, I think, because this journey of starting your own business is not an easy one. It requires a lot of perseverance and patience and grit. And if you love what you do, it's not going to feel like it. It's just going to feel like fun. So I would highly recommend finding your passion and building a business around that.
Absolutely. Michael, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Hey, Chase, thanks so much for having me.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestycommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.